Good morning. This video is explosive. It's truthful. I finished the UK Bill of Rights in its entirety. Hours of it, pouring through it, detail by detail. And I'm going to break that down for everybody in just a few minutes. But before I do that, there was a lot of terminology, some serious legal speak that shows that the new Bill of Rights in relation to the government of UK isn't even for the common man. You can't even understand it without a firm grasp of legal speak. You've got to be a lawyer to even interpret what King Charles, the Crown, is presenting there. And I'm going to start with Secretary of State. And this is especially important for Americans, Canadians. Of course, it's important, but Americans, because this is the new war on America. King Charles Rex III. That's Latin with king. That translates to King of Kings, Charles III. King of Kings, Charles III. That was Jesus's title. So Charles, in his extreme narcissism, went there. It's hard not to look at Charles after going through the Bill of Rights with all of his Secretary of States and all the notes and everything that they came together with justifying this new Bill of Rights, which is very, very radicalized, Nazified literature. We're going to go through the highlights of it, everybody, like nobody has ever gone through it before, and probably won't. They probably won't. Joe Biden, he signed the new Atlantic Charter 2021. Moments in office, that was his first order in council. Terrible. It undone the Allies. Over 80 years of monumental works done in human rights, human value, and cementing we the people. The idea, it didn't go throughout the world, but it affected a lot of countries, and the world is a better place, much better than it ever was pre-World War II. But I want to go through some definitions before we get into the Bill of Rights here and all the things in this title that are so explosive. Secretary of State. The USA, through Webster's and the Constitution of the United States, defines Secretary of State as the next in line to President. And the President, whomever's elected, gets to pick that person for Secretary of State. But they must pass the Senate, a Senate review committee. That person has to answer their questions, their pre-notion of what a Secretary of State should be, to make sure that is a good choice. That's split Democrats, Republicans. And it's public. It is public entirely. We see that with the justice system too, folks. Now, UK, Secretaries of State. There are many. And I'm going to give everybody an explosive piece of homework because I could get into it, but I'd rather all of you out there, Americans, Canadians, First Peoples, go on Wikipedia. I went through it to make sure Britannica and other publications match that, and they really do. They really do. You can look at how many secretaries of state, every prime minister gets to go through the king or queen. We used to have Queen Elizabeth, and make as many as they want, as long as the king gets to select them. It's their royal prerogative. All secretaries of state are sworn to His Majesty King Charles III. Highest position in all the UK. You can say Prime Minister appoints them, but it's actually King Charles now, as his mother before him. They go through royal prerogative. They stamp off each and every one. No house, no lords, no nobody. The king or queen, Elizabeth before, but now Charles selects them. And for homework for all of you, go on Wikipedia. Look up all the secretaries of state and all the ones erased in history that are no longer allowed to be positions in the UK. Look at the years. You will find international law bound by the United States, the former Soviet Union, the Russian Federation today. Every year, the penmanship was jointly done by the United States and Russia. You will watch The Promise. The Promise. And it's all in colonial. You can go read the horrific titles of secretaries of state that have been erased over all the years. Look from World War II on. It will blow you away. It should. If that doesn't wake people up to reality as we go through this video, and this is serious. This video is serious, credible, real, verifiable. It's right now today. It's probably the most destructive thing created in the world. And if you're anti-vax, grab a seat. If you're in all kinds of positions in life, a freedom convoy person, a union worker looking to strike, grab a chair, hang on tightly, because what we're going to go through, and religions, and it's so unreal, it's so sick and twisted, and it's everything I knew the Crown to be in the work I've been doing, but it's better people learn it for themselves. I give this guiding tutorial video. I give people ways to go look this stuff up and go, holy shit, this is real. This is real. Right now in our face. And if you want to talk about UN agendas and all these ideas, go read the new Bill of Rights UK. That will blow you out of the water. Conspiracy theorists, I think you should go read that document. You want to see a constitutionally codified conspiracy theory come into life? Go read the UK Bill of Rights 2023. Secretaries of State. There are 14 right now in the UK. That's how many they have active. Each one of them has tremendous power, not screened by anybody except King Charles III. That's it. There's no review. There's no nothing. They can be lords, barons, anybody the king wants. Anybody the king wants. And they are sworn and bound to the king. No public inquisitions, no review panel, no House of Lords and public disclosure, none whatsoever. Why I bring this up is because when you read the UK Bill of Rights, the tremendous powers presented to the secretaries of state who run the entire UK at the highest levels. Imagine Secretary of State USA, but taking all cabinet positions, I guess it's hard, department positions in the USA and giving them the power of Secretary of State, each and every one, but no Senate review. Imagine Joe Biden appointing all of them to this high power, superpower, and they get to go autocratically with no restrictions. Why it's important to highlight this is because secretaries of State are repeated over and over in the new Bill of Rights. They go through your Bill of Rights after massive legal jargon. I read all the reports. It took quite a bit of time. I had to look a lot of things up. UK brought back slavery. They brought back justifiable slavery, not at home, but all over the world. And there is no human rights panel, no declaration of human rights that can stop UK in their Commonwealth of countries and their colonial assets that apparently USA and Russia made illegal and UK had to give up. Well, the new Bill of Rights doesn't show that. It goes into military, powers of military overseas outside of UK's boundaries, and there are no laws that you can come back or legal action you can file against the UK wherever you are in the world, whatever they do. 007 military style justice all over the Commonwealth world. They can do whatever they want. And there is no human rights panel, commission, or international law that can stop the UK government from doing whatever they want overseas. There's no human rights laws for them anymore. It is literally 007 multiplied by the entire military in foreign service. Clearly laid out in the new Bill of Rights. They make that clear. Let's talk about what's real important, especially for Americans. You know that life, liberty, Americans have the death penalty. They don't shy away from it. They highlight everything that can lead you to the death penalty. Do you know what the UK says now? We have abolished the death penalty, except in summary execution by our military, our police, and our sheriffs, if the need arises, subject to the Crown and the laws created by any Secretary of State. And then they list things that would justify the police wasting you. You know, insurrection, January 6th, it would be open fire on all those protesters. That's the UK says, we'll open fire on you. We're allowed to use deadly force. Now, folks, there's no guns in the UK. People don't have guns. Only criminals do. Protesters are going to have a hard time ever getting their hands on guns in the UK. Hard to get a gun in the UK. They've made firearms illegal. Nobody has any. No one really. They made them illegal. Good luck. Why would the UK government need to have that? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, except when the government says they don't think that suits their interests, they take it away from you. Summary convictions, death penalty. Okay, so you don't have the death penalty, but you do. You have all these lists of why you can use it. We go on, and it goes into the liberty and freedoms of everybody except if you're an alcoholic, a drug addict, a vagrant, anti-vaxxer. Yeah, disease is there. They placed disease in the list. They added vagrancy for the poor UK citizens who are homeless. If you don't make enough money, if you're a minimum wage earner, you don't have a place to live, they take away a lot of your rights. Take a lot away. I guess you can just erase your homeless problem. That's how they're going to do it. Work or be imprisoned, institutionalized. They want to abuse you, take away your rights. You had a few beers after work. They're just going to say you're an alcoholic. Smoking a joint. Oh boy, you're a drug addict. Who knows? It's subject to the particular Secretary of State. And again, there's 14 of them. Super powered, supersized, sworn and appointed by King Charles III. Freedom of association. Hey, convoy people. Hey, union guys. Oh, yeah. They've got a big article in the Bill of Rights. Oh, you guys all get your freedom of association until the Secretary of State, the government or the Crown and the Parliament decide you shouldn't have it. And it even clearly says they have the right to mobilize military, police, and effectively take that away in any situation that they feel is a threat to the nation, the public interest, or morality. And we hear morality repeated in every section of right they give you, they take away by state and say, oh, and if it isn't deemed moral. Moral by whose standards? Oh, the Crown's standards. Oh, Charles's standards. So if you're protesting for resources or equality in pay or end of class structure, that's going to go against the moral authority of the Crown. And they will lay a beating on you. They can even summarily execute you. I'm not joking, people. They can even lock you up. Disease, COVID-19 pandemic, don't get vaccinated, they'll lock you up. Take away all your rights and your freedom. They'll lock you up. It's written right there. They'll institutionalize you. What does diseased mean? Diseased? Is that going to be people with diabetes too down the road? Nazis did that. They made the same exact articles. Soon all handicaps, anyone who wasn't physically fit, if they had a defect, a disease, what's going to happen to people with cancer down the road? I don't know. I just don't know why a Bill of Rights would have provisions in there like that. A Bill of Rights that gives a whole bunch of state power back to the state. This Bill of Rights, folks, reads like pre-League of Nations height of the British Empire and its atrocities all over the world. They were no different than Nazi Germany. They were brute, barbaric, evildoers all over the world. They executed many First Peoples. They executed and wiped many First Peoples out all over the world. British Columbia, Canada. 21 First Peoples are extinct from there. The same First Peoples alive and well today in Washington and Oregon. You can go up to Russia, former Alaska, and all the way into Siberia, and the same First Peoples are there. St. Petersburg's logged the languages. There used to be the Russia-America Company, folks. That's why USA bought Alaska. Russia used to go all the way down to Texas. That's the truth. They didn't murder a bunch of First Peoples. They were hard on them. They were mean, but they didn't do what the British Empire did. This goes for USA too. There were Indian wars, but there wasn't freak show genocide of some kind of divine psychopath like the Bill of Rights is today. Religion, we see powers of the Church of England. They say all these other religions, except, again, where there's moral objection from the Crown, not from the people or the will of the people. It says from the Secretary of State, Secretaries of State, appointed and sworn to Charles, a private little council, royal prerogative, what the royal family deems moral, what Charles deems moral, and his Crown appointments. Goes on and on. The worst is, for now on, any protests, any union strikes, they will come with the firm hand of the military, police, and anything else with any amount of force they want to. Arrests, they can have happen. You can't sue anymore. They tell the judges in the Bill of Rights, they say the justices must take direction from the secretaries of state. They can jump in The judges, when making a decision on all these items in the Bill of Rights, must take a Secretary of State and make them notified in their area that they're looking at, and that Secretary of State gets to join in. You can even appoint to these panels for judges sheriffs, police, military of the crown. Wow, that's what I want for justice, right? I want a cop or a sheriff to be on a panel telling the judge how to rule on law. I'm not running cops down, but they're not lawyers. They're definitely not experts in law. I don't want someone appointed to a panel. Folks, the idea of moving to the UK is asinine at this point. What they're planning to do around the world is they're starting to lose control. Barbados, Jamaica, and so many others are starting to say, hey, we're done with you. We're seeing Southeast Asian out in the Pacific and Atlantic. Some of these countries are going with China. They've had enough with the crown. They don't want the garbage anymore. And the UK is desperate to hold on to it. And they're going to get very aggressive. They're getting more brazen, more bold. Even though you can look up secretaries of state, look at all the ones forced to be deleted. They were forced to be removed by USA and Russia. And now Joe Biden signed a new Atlantic Charter after 80 years, and within that time, we now have a new Bill of Rights in the UK that looks like a tyrannical, nutcase, Nazified Bill of Rights. And if anyone hasn't read it yet, you should read it. You should read it. There is not one right for the British people, the Northern Irish people, the Wales people. We can go on through all five of them. The point is, there's nothing but the autocratic power of the crown and the actual destruction of the courts. You won't even be able to sue or get remedy. You're going to have to face the crown. In the old times in UK, in the King's Court system, you get egged by the public, you get tied up, strung up, and then they'd execute you. It didn't matter innocent or not. It was all for public entertainment. Blood on the crown's hands, spread out to scare all the subjects. And they subjugate. And what they put in for foreign relations within their holdings of the Commonwealth should make every American puke. How Joe Biden could sign a new Atlantic Charter and erasing the promise of King George VI and Winston Churchill, I don't know. Joe Biden is the most corrupt, despicable, United States traitorous president we've ever seen. Ever seen. I've never seen a worse president. Reigning on strong, got through midterms. And I don't know why the Republicans don't say anything. I don't even know why Americans don't look at what I've just taught about secretary versus secretaries of state. Read the UK new Bill of Rights. Americans should read that. Is that your buddies? Is that who you want to team up in the world? Because I remember a time that on the birth of the United States, it was to get away from that shit. And now Joe Biden's all buddy with it. UK's great and wonderful. I've got Greta Thunberg working for the Kingdom of Norway, tied to King Charles III. Do you know how much Brent crude is? It's higher than Texas. It's the standard globally. Who is in Brent? Oh, yeah, Greta Thunberg and Norway. Oh, yeah, Norwegian oil, yeah. Sweden and Norway together. Oh, yeah, kingdoms. I forgot. They're royal families, too. Just like the Dutch. Oh, shit. Forgot all about all this. We're all being played. If you're a labor rights activist, you're going to get steamrolled in the Commonwealth. They're coming for us, just like they did in the past, just like what happened in Nazi Germany. UK is coming on strong. If you haven't read the Bill of Rights, it's sick, despicable. Read the convention articles. It'll make you puke. I don't see how any American with the American Bill of Rights could read that and stomach that as anything but lunatic, sick cockamamie. I don't know how any more freedom rights people and convoy people and all these others, all these groups talk about all these things. How can you not look at the UK Bill of Rights and see it all laid out there? There's all your conspiracy theories codified in one of the most powerful nations in the world in their new Bill of Rights. Oh, and by the way, it was done by the Conservative Party of the United Kingdom. There is no different in any party. Whoever gets power goes with the crown. They talk about pensions, the money they're going to make. All the Secretary of State's new monies, their pensions to be paid out, enshrining their wealth. It's sick. It's despicable. Never once is anything ever made for the people in that Bill of Rights. It talks about every person and then it takes it away by handing the reins over to the state. Secretaries of State, the crown. Charles runs them all. Go look up royal prerogative. Secretaries of State, royal prerogative. Make you puke. Then read the Bill of Rights. Then go through it. And these things will stick out for you. Read morality. At the end of it, when it gives it back to the state, they talk about it. Look at all the things they list. This can be undone. Your right can be removed from you in this case. Oh, and morality and this. Well, I don't have a right at all. In the UK, you don't have any right at all. You could be walking home from a pub. Someone could be smoking a joint down the street. Or what are they going to use to justify taking away your rights? What's diseased? Because COVID-19, they said diseased. They said it was a pandemic. What will happen to the next wave for the UK citizens when this Bill of Rights passes? Which the title isn't even really a Bill of Rights. It should be called the Bill of the Crown's State Power over Your Rights. That's what it should be called. That's the true title as it's defined as you read through it. It's sick. It's cockamamie. Get this shared out. Look at it. This is coming right through the Commonwealth. We all signed the Commonwealth Charter 2012. Go read that. Go read your Constitution. Our Constitution must follow the UK by its design. We also swear our oath and give our sovereignty away to the royal family, His Majesty King Charles III. That is the preamble of the Canadian Constitution. Defined. You give your sovereignty away. We model this country after that one, and we give our sovereignty to it. All our politicians do, who are the only people codified in Canada's Constitution. And now there's a new UK Bill of Rights that is one of the most troublesome bills of rights I've ever read in my life. Like I said, it makes you want to puke. They talk about Russia. Well, what the fuck is that? What is that? Read it. It's horrific. That's my video. Get it shared out there. People need to know. People need to wake up. I don't know why none of these freedom fighters are talking about it. Every conspiracy theorist, a pile of your conspiracies are found in the UK Bill of Rights. What do you say about that? That's all Crown, the original Crown, the high power of the world, the worst of the worst. And it's all laid out there in the Bill of Rights. Read its entirety. Read the notes. The legal speak is troublesome. It's not meant for average folks. It's not meant for the common man. But you can get through it. Every time you run into a term you don't understand, go look it up. The slavery one just gets me. Just gets me. The foreign military and the lack of human rights, that gets me. What are they planning to do? What are they planning to do in all these colonial asset countries, these third world nations that they've oppressed forever and a day? What are they planning to do? That's my video, folks. Share, share, share. Real, credible, and verifiable. It's disheartening. I know.